Hello guys. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are. So today, next interview. And my guest today is a lady from Ukraine, Uliana Tykha. Her Instagram name is Uliana Jellybean. So I'm just waiting for her to connect and we will start. Hello Tamuna. Our topic today is one's passion to new experiences. What we're gonna talk about is becoming an English coach and basically how to find your clients. So all of the tips and tricks, implementing innovative strategies in EFL classroom. Hi! Because Uliana was a presenter at international conferences, so this is something I'm gonna mention once she joins. So I'll introduce her to you guys. And we're gonna talk about her top activities which she uses in order to boost the 21st century skills in her classroom. So we are waiting. How are you, Tamuna? Hi, Uliana. Hi. It's all right. We're waiting for Uliana to connect, and we will start. So I will start introducing you guys Uliana. So she has the PhD in Philology, university instructor for 9 years. She was a presenter at international conferences in Oman. Hi, Uliana.
Hello, Olga.
Hello. So I'm just introducing you to the audience. So Uliana participated in the International Virtual ELT web conference, and her speech was the importance of using innovative methods in ELT classrooms, and it's very fresh. It happened just in July 2020. And also the 6th International Virtual Symposium, and the speech was Media and Digital Literacy in Language Education back in September 2020. So that's why we have a lot of things to talk about. How are you, Uliana?
I'm great, thank you. What about you?
Also, I was looking forward to our interview. Hope you are safe and sound. And
of course,
full of energy.
Enjoying the lockdown, just trying to make it as productive as possible.
Exactly. You know, just today I posted the stories like, let's find something positive in it, because if there is nothing what we can change, so we need to put it into positive side. Right. So Uliana, let's go ahead, right? So the first question I would like to ask you is that you mentioned, and I introduced to the guys, that you're an English coach for the international companies, and I'm sure that nowadays a lot of teachers are attracted to this idea of distinguishing English teaching and English coaching. So could you please give us a little bit of background, basically, and explain what is the main aspect of this English coaching versus English teaching?
Yes, so thank you very much, first of all, for the introduction. It is my great pleasure being here and having this professional chat, let's put it this way. So, you know, with all these modern and brand new approaches in education. We have so many different terms that greatly depend on the context. Yeah, so we have teachers, we have instructors, we have mentors, facilitators, coaches. Yes, and I will just to explain it from my perspective, the way I see it, just relying on my experience.
Sure.
Yeah, so I would say that teaching is more about learners' knowledge, acquisition of knowledge. Yes, and when the teacher is an expert in the classroom and shares his or her knowledge and experience with the students, right? But coaching is more it is more about helping people to develop some skills in professional areas, I would say. And, there is such a statement, and I absolutely agree with it, that coaches help people help themselves. Yeah, so that's this difference. But another one, I would say that coaching is more about, it is more an individual approach than in teaching, because you can teach, let's say, a group of 15 or so students, but you cannot coach them, because coaching is about adapting learning to the very specific needs of a person, usually related to professional area. And yes, and basically you need to tailor, yes, the course to meet the needs. And in my business English experience, I teach people who already know English, let's say at B1 level, yes, but they need English as a means towards achieving some professional goals. So it can be communication and negotiation with their business partners. It can be business trips and business correspondence. It's just being able to have a small talk in international business environment. So these things, right? So
Sure.
that's why I call it coaching. Yes, it's not teaching, because we are both experts, actually. It's not like in the classroom when I'm the only expert, right? So it's more about collaboration, yes, and helping to achieve certain goals. Yes, help the person help achieve some professional goals, right?
Exactly. So basically, if to put it simple, when you're an English teacher, you come to a classroom as an English teacher to teach the language. So you probably touch all of these 4, 5 skills like reading, writing. So you just go ahead and practice a lot of grammar, probably, right? But if it is English coaching, if I understood correctly, then you more like touch the cultural aspects, all of these behaviors,
Yeah.
social aspects more, right?
Yes.
I see. And what are actually the questions that you usually receive from your students? How do you tailor your classroom, for example? Do you prepare? Do you have any plan ahead
Yes.
because they ask you something?
Yes, I actually have a lot of interesting requests. So, for example, one lady, she was working in IT, and she was involved in one international project where there were a lot of people from France and Italy, yeah, like Italians and French, but they were speaking English. And she was like, okay, I speak English. You understand me, I understand you, but I cannot communicate with them because their English is just terrible. Yes, and that was like a challenge for me, because I understand this, and I had to explain to her that in English, in business environment, it's all about lingua franca. Yes, English as an international means of communication, and that's why you need to practice your listening skills, just to be able to recognize different accents, and just don't say their English is just terrible. No, it's just their English. It's just the way they speak. We all speak with an accent, yes, and it's what makes us you know, unique. We shouldn't be afraid of our Ukrainian like accent in English or Polish or whatever it is, right? So that was interesting. And we were drilling different like business cases and situations where it was like Indians speaking English, Chinese and Japanese speaking English. And finally, maybe over 2 or 3 months, she managed to understand this, that she just needs to train her ear to be able to recognize these accents. So that was a very interesting request.
True. As they say that there is not only, like, let's say, British English or American English,
Yes.
Australian English, there is already Spanish English, Indian English, exactly what you
Spanglish,
said.
Franglish.
Yes, 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 exactly. Okay, Uliana, and I have such question. As an English teacher, let's say, if I want to go ahead and become an English coach, right? But I want to be sure that I can do this, because I also need to be open-minded and have some extra knowledge on these cultural aspects, right? So all of the communication aspects which you are mentioning. So how can I be sure that I do possess enough of skills myself so that I can go for it?
Yes, this is a good question. Yes, a relevant question, I would say. It's really hard to come up with some, you know, tips how to become an English or business English coach. But I would say that skill number one that you need to have or to develop or to improve is flexibility. Yes, because you need to be very flexible with your methods, with your teaching methods. So it's not just being an expert and teaching what you know. It is first of all listening to what people need. Yes, learning a lot of different things, because you need to be aware of some business world. You need to have this background knowledge. Yes, and then you can share this expertise with this person. You can be equal, more or less. Yes, so you need to yes, and you need to be you know, like partners, yes, in this classroom or whatever it is, and collaborate. So let's say we have a goal and we need to work hard to achieve this. Yes, English as a means of achieving the goal. So flexibility is number one, and the rest is some background knowledge and experience. Of course, it all comes with experience.
Of course. Could you please share, do you have any business experience? Where do you get your knowledge from? Or is it all books?
Not really. I had some experience a couple of years ago when I was just an assistant of a manager. So I was doing things like that. So I got some insights into that. Yes, and this is how actually I started this business coaching. Yes, but then I was just communicating with a lot of people. I was involved in some international projects. Yes, so I learned this environment. Yes, what's interesting, what's popular. Yes, and of course, people are telling me different stories. I mean, business people who I work with. So yes, and in this way, I just enrich my knowledge and my horizons in that.
Cool, brilliant. Okay, so Uliana, another advice on this point which you could give to our colleagues, right? Let's say I'm listening to you to interview with you, and I feel that I can do it because this is what I also want. So could you just share the practical tip? Where should I start in order to find the clients who exactly seek for English coach, not a teacher?
Yes, yes.
Or there is maybe no secret at all. Just if you could
No
share.
secret, no secret. You know, the biggest thing that we need to take advantage of is networking. Networking is really important here, because once you get one client that is 90 or 100% satisfied with your business, he will just share his experience with partners, colleagues, yes, and in this way he or she will promote you as an expert, as a teacher, as a coach. This is what happened to me. Yes, this is how I started. But yes, I would say it's not just about coaching. Yes, it's just about ELT and any professional sphere. Nowadays we have this great opportunity to network online, because yes, I just remember that once I saw you know, this post on Facebook where they were inviting people to take part in the international conference in Oman. Yes, and I applied, and I was enrolled in that. And people were asking, you, like a teacher from Ukraine, how come that you managed to be the presenter at an international conference in Oman? I was like, okay, thanks to Facebook. That's how it happened.
Yeah, we need to make a use of all what is for
Yes.
free for us. Exactly. Okay, Uliana, you mentioned this conference where you were talking about innovative strategies, right? So my next question would be about this, but first, could you please tell us actually who are your students apart from the people from companies, right? So is it like individual classes, group classes, adults, any kids, anyone?
Yes, yes. Okay. So right now we're switching to my university teaching. That's another story, but it is no less exciting. So I am an English teacher at Vasyl Stefanyk Precarpathian National University in Ivano-Frankivsk, Ukraine. Yes, and my audience at the university is very diverse. So I teach first, second, and third year students at foreign languages faculty. Yes, they major in English and translation studies. What else? Their level of English is usually B1, B2. It all depends on a student, on a year, and so on. So this is about my audience.
All right, I understand. Okay, and what about now, by the way, in this situation? Do you teach online or do you
Yes,
come to the
yes, we are
university?
teaching online. Yes, exactly. We have a lot of different challenges, you know, with all these electronic paperwork and e-registers, so a lot of workload.
So now all of the innovative methods are so much important like never, right? Never
Yes, they
before.
are. They
So
are.
could you please share in this Oman conference, what are the methods that you are talking about? And I suppose that all of them you use.
Yes. So I will try to first say a couple of words of my vision of modern education.
Sure.
So all these innovative ELT strategies and approaches, yes, they should be aimed at equipping students with some skills to be successful beyond the classroom, yes, to be successful in their future career, yes. And we all know that these are called 21st century skills, and they include communication, collaboration, creativity, what else?
Communication,
Yes,
collaboration, creativity, critical
creativity,
thinking.
yes, critical thinking, and media and digital literacy as well. These are also important. Yes, because ELT educators, yes, we want to, especially nowadays, create this student-centered learning, yes, to motivate our students to study, to enjoy the process, especially nowadays when we're going through this challenges, yes, in the new normal. So I would say, first of all, it's really important to empower students to use their voice. Yes, because they are also experts in some areas, and we just need to empower them to share their expertise. I always say that, I keep saying that my students are millennials and they are digital natives. Yes, so they are just perfect at all these digital things. Yes, and sometimes I feel the lack of these skills, and they can even teach me. So, and for the development of all these strategies, I think the very relevant approach is project-based learning. Yes, and this is actually what I was talking about at these two conferences that you mentioned. So the first topic was developing 21st century skills through mute animated videos. So I will tell you this, how it works, because there were a lot of different things. So first of all, mute animated videos. These are like very short videos. They are cartoons, yes, but they have no narration. They are mute. But at the same time, they convey a very powerful message. They have a very eye-catching visuals, yes, and that's why they are very interesting to students. So the task was the students had to like work in groups. Yes, they had to collaborate. They had to like watch this video to brainstorm on the relevant issues, but they had to come up with a script to that mute video. Yes, to write the script or write the subtitles, and then to voice the characters. And here the important thing is that it was about collaboration, because here we need to distinguish collaboration and cooperation, because when they cooperate, they just distribute the tasks. You do this, you do that, and then we come together and like make it all together, right? But a collaboration is when they work together, they brainstorm, they negotiate, then they need to agree, they need to come to terms, they need sometimes to resolve some conflicts. So that's really important. Yes, so, and then they just had to do some out of classroom activities. So they had to come up with the script, to voice the characters, and then they were presenting their creative like outcome or output in the classroom. Of course, we practiced peer feedback, yes, and they were just sharing their actually videos, but not animated, but already voiced. Yes, and they were sharing some challenges in terms of digital skills, in terms of collaboration, and different things like that. So these mute animated videos are great. There are a lot of them on YouTube. I use the one called Jack and Heron, something like this. Yes, unfortunately, I don't have these technical issues to show how it worked, but that was great.
Nice. Uliana, can I ask, because you just mentioned cooperation and collaboration, could you please give us a tip? How do you set up a task in such a way that cooperation becomes collaboration?
Collaboration, yes, a good question. You need to prepare your students for that. So it shouldn't like come, accidentally. Let's cooperate or let's collaborate. They need to know this. So maybe at the beginning of the semester, you need to practice different, activities and to explain to them, the main aspects of this collaboration. So it's not just distributing the tasks, yes, but working together. And this project I was actually doing last year, but this year my students are trying to do the same. And I would say that in the online teaching, it is a bit more difficult, because I actually cannot like control if they're actually collaborating or cooperating. But I hope that they are just following my advice. And yes, they negotiate. They should agree or disagree. So it's all about working together towards a common goal. It's not about like doing some individual tasks. Yeah, so that was the first project. Another one was developing collaboration skills through social advertising. That was another great thing that I did with my students. So I decided to assign my students to create a social ad about cell phone addiction, because that was the topic that we were discussing in the classroom. We learned the whole bunch of newly coined terms in English, like nomophobia, when you have the phobia of just being unable to survive without your phone. Phobbing, when you are ignoring someone who's talking to you, just checking your phone. Then what else? Zombies. These are telephone zombies. Yes, so we learned like very nice concepts, right?
How did they meet these? Were they okay? Identifying themselves as like addicted to phones?
Yes, they actually admit this, and I admit myself that I'm addicted to my phone. Yeah, so we are like addicts. Yeah, cell phone addicts. We all admit it, and we decided like to raise awareness, because actually social advertising is about raising awareness of some like issues of nowadays, and trying to maybe to overcome them, maybe to use them in a right way. So that was the main thing. Yes. So again, they were cooperating, but outside the classroom, because the task was to practice all these things: collaboration, communication, creativity, and of course
Critical thinking.
yes, critical thinking and digital literacy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were a lot of different activities that they had to include in this social advertising. So first of all, it was conducting interviews, or nowadays they are called vox pops. Like these are some interviews when you just bump into a person in the street and ask a question. Yes, so they were doing this at the university and outside. Yes, interviewing teachers, their peers. So that was like a very nice experience for them. They really enjoyed that.
Did they
Then,
have to record it?
yes, of course. Like they had a cameraman, yes, who was responsible for recording everything. Yes, so they also had some reflections. Yeah, so it was like a social ad, but it incorporated different things. Like some of the students were reflecting on how they feel about this phone addiction. They were interviewing other people. They were providing some statistics, some data, and they were just, using their potential for creativity and for digital skills to their fullest. Yes, and then we posted that on our university like website and social media website. It was like a challenge if anyone wanted to compete and create something similar. So that was great. My students really enjoyed that, and the topic was great. You always need to pick up something that is very relevant to students' life. Let them be experts in that. And just I can say that all these activities, all these projects, they are not just, this is creativity, let's develop it. Yes, we create what is called now a student centered learning. Yes, so we have students, yes, and we try to make up some activities, just taking into consideration their needs, their interest, their expertise in something. Yeah, so that's really important, and that's what motivate students a lot, because when they are engaged together, they feel really empowered to contribute. Yes, to create something, because it's more about creative learning rather than passive, just doing some exercises and that's it. It's not like it used to be when I was a student. Yes, just doing grammar, listening, and so on. Times are different now, and we need to keep up with all these,
Actually,
needs.
I think that you are the perfect teacher who is a coach, actually, not a teacher, because even I'm listening now and you do apply the coaching even for university students, because you are not such type of, I can imagine by what you are saying, you're not the type of lecturer who comes, stands and just reads some kind of, I don't know, grammar rules or so. But you actually provide the student-centered learning, and you're just there aside to coach, facilitate, help if needed, but they are doing their own job, and it's just
Yes,
bravo.
I just try to explain that we are almost on the same page. We're all have the same problems, like phone addiction, or any other thing. So it's really important for them not to feel this gap. It's not always about age gap. Yes, it's sometimes the gap just in the way of thinking, or and when they feel this gap, they are very reluctant to do something creative, and And yeah, so it's just about
To be on the
avoiding this
same
gap.
page, yeah, so that your
Yes.
students feel that you are there with them and you actually
Yes.
share the same passions and
Yes.
fears, maybe, etc.
Yes.
Cool, wonderful. Thank you, Uliana. Uh, okay, so if you could share other like top 4 activities, if you can, for these 21st century skills which you use, maybe because it's very, very hot topic now. And
Yeah, so I would
these,
say that it's really important to practice project-based learning. Yes, different ideas sometimes they just come up to my mind, and I just try to implement them with my students. You know, like recently we were again doing something about artificial intelligence, reading all this information, and I asked them, just could you please make a post on your social media if you are concerned about some risks of you know, this abundance of artificial intelligence or not. And they were like, I'm afraid I don't want anyone to read my post. And I just try to persuade them that it's great when you are sharing, you know, some issues that you are concerned about, and people can comment and give you feedback, and you know, your parents, your teachers will see that you're not doing something, you know, very theoretical that has nothing to do with real life in English classes. Yes, but you do something that is relevant to your like problems, needs, and so on. So they actually did it. Yes, and we had some fun commenting on their posts, like sharing and things like that. So again, you just need to feel what they are interested in, and then just let them use it. Yes, and especially digital literacy is great, because they are much more skilled in that than we are. Personally, me, yes, I have a lot of different things that I need to learn myself how to use them.
of course, because they're younger, you know, they're catching up
Yes,
faster with these things.
yes.
Okay, so thank you, Elena, for the poster idea, right? So the
Mm.
muted videos idea. Anything else that you can say just on the go?
I'm trying to brainstorm myself, because you know, in all this, when it is in the classroom, I would say it's much easier, but when it is online, it's a bit complicated. I just recently came across a couple of apps where they can practice digital storytelling. Yes, but I just plan to practice this with my students.
Mm-hmm.
There are some apps, to be honest, I don't remember the names, where you can create different characters. Then you can create a plot to your story, everything like with digital things. And then you can record your voice, yes, and make it like a digital storytelling. So I say it would work great in this online environment. But to be honest, I haven't tried it yet. But I hope I will have some time off the test and all these things at the end of the semester to to have some fun doing this as well.
Is it Storybird? We have a comment.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Storybird.
Storybird. Yes, Storybird and some others. Yes, have you ever practiced that, by the way?
Me, no, this is probably Eva asking, so we'll just
Oh
wait for
yes, I
her
see the
comment.
question. Yes,
Yeah,
Storybird.
Storybird.
Yeah, Storybird. Storybird. And there are some others, but I haven't, because you know, first of all, you need to be aware how it works. Yes, you need to spend some time, you know, practicing all those functions. Yes, and then you can assign your students to do that. So it takes a lot of time.
Right. What was the most successful the project that you've done with them that they enjoyed the most?
I would say that was social advertising,
Mm-hmm.
because it was like communication in its like best possible way, because they were communicating with their peers, you know, they were communicating with teachers and people in the streets, because they were conducting these vox pops, these kind of interviews. They just were very productive in terms of creativity and different role plays. Of course, it was some sort of drama skills, yes, and reflection, and just collecting some data to provide some statistics. So if I have, if someone is interested, I can share it, so you can see how it worked. And these were just my second year students, so you know, they did a good job. I mean, with all these creativity, and in English, of course, because they need to learn some functional language, how to ask them questions, how to interview. So it's not just about creativity and having fun. It's also about learning English.
Exactly. Actually, that's a good point that you mentioned, Uliana, because I remember I also had experience being a university teacher, and you are so creative, you want to give your students so much, but there is kind of program which you have to follow.
Yes.
So can you please also mention how do you meet these ends together?
To be honest, with all these creative things, I'm often falling behind this syllabus. You know, but I see that there is no point of just drilling the exercises. I mean, they make no use. They are not interested in that, and especially if I see that they are really good at English, they do not have any like huge and really like vital gaps in their grammar and things like that. So let's practice some life skills. Yes, these are all life skills, because outside the classroom, when they start working, they need to know how to communicate, how to cooperate, how to be good team players, yes, how to negotiate, how to resolve some problems, some conflicts, and so on. So these are all life skills that they need for future success, yes, in their career, and so on. So it's really interesting.
These are the ones they will have with them after graduating the university. So to finish.
Yes, of course. I've just recently heard that the quote that education, it's something that is left when you remember everything what you have learned at school.
When you forget everything what you learned
Yes,
at school.
that was actually your quote, right?
No, I don't think that I posted it recently, but I also heard it, yes.
I just noticed it somewhere on Instagram. I saw this and I really loved it. I completely agree with this.
Yeah, me too, because it's exactly what you said. This is something what is left after you forget everything. So these are the skills which you actually felt, and that's why you remember them. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, Uliana. So also the question which I ask my guests, can you please share your sources of inspiration? Because I think that nowadays it's also very, very sensitive question for all the teachers. So where is your inspiration coming from?
My inspiration, a good question actually. You know, with all this gloomy weather outside and all these issues around COVID-19, I try to see something positive in every single you know, minute and thing around me. But first of all, it is of course networking. For me, the biggest inspiration is meeting with people, with ELT professionals, offline or online, to have different workshops where we can share our experience, because it is very motivating and encouraging, you know, and a lot of ideas that I use in my classroom, I just picked up from some seminars, from some workshops, online as well. So for me now, my biggest inspiration is different networking events that are going on online. Yes, and yeah, and just meeting new people like you, thanks to Instagram. You know, a lot of people are just saying that Instagram is just for kids, for those who love TikToks and things like that. But I find really a whole bunch of benefits of using social medias as well as Instagram and Facebook and so on. And I hope just meeting in real time, yes, in real life one day.
Absolutely. This is what we keep saying. We need to, all together, we need to meet after.
All these
once everything is settled. Yeah. Okay, and Uliana, where is the next conference you're going to take part in? Are you presenting anything else? Or just
Yes, I can actually have a minute of advertising or promoting, but I just don't remember the exact name. So very soon, I guess in a month, our university, together with some other Ukrainian universities and some partners from abroad, are going to have online conference on sustainable education.
Nice.
On sustainable education. There will be experts from abroad, from different countries. So it is called Symposium. So in Facebook, you can just Google Symposium, Virtual International Conference on Sustainable Education.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes.
Is it going to be streamed online?
I think it will be on some platform. I don't know exactly.
So if you register, you will be a participant, correct?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
yes,
I understand.
And yeah, so we like this conference includes different experts, and there will be a lot of networking opportunities for sure. And for those who want to present, who want to be presenters, there are different topics. So there are a lot of things to choose from.
Excellent. So Uliana, we have a question. Any link to check out? Maybe after I say this interview, maybe you could put it in the comment, right?
Yes, of course. Yes,
everyone who will not be able to find it can find it easily.
Yes. Symposium. It's called Symposium. SEVIC.
Thank you.
So you're welcome to join us.
Right. Wonderful. Uliana, okay. So any tip, just a good word for all the colleagues who are watching us?
I think that we need to make the most out of this situation with the lockdown. Yes, and just to see it as a perfect opportunity to spend more time with your family. Yes, to spend a lot of time networking online. Yes, yes, and just try to celebrate every single moment that brings us some inspiration, satisfaction, just joy. Yes, whether it is something in personal life, in private life, or in your professional area, because when this nightmare is over, we'll be back again in our ELT community. And yes, and we will have a lot of actually to remember, that we mentioned that we managed to go through this nightmare in a very productive way, and we will have a lot of things to remember, like these interviews, these conferences, and things like that.
True. And then we will appreciate the real conferences even more.
Even more, exactly.
All right. So then thank you, Uliana, very much for all the tips. Absolutely practical. I wish you more and more inspiration, of course, more successful presentations, all of the ideas, and thankful students, of course, and health.
Yes,
stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you so much for being my guest. So I'm saving the interview, and then you could share the details.
And I will attach the link to the conference.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much for inviting me. That was a big pleasure.
Keep in touch.
Yes, of course. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.